We have to shut up or they will shut down. I've got a bit of a confession to make to you. I am a terrible innovator. I've won awards from the United Nations. I've acquired over 13 million euro for my innovations, but I'm a terrible innovator. And I discovered this one day. One of my students came into my office and with one sentence destroyed 15 years worth of my research. This student, her name is Katie. She's sitting there in my office, and I'm in my big, fancy professor chair, right? And I'm looking at her, and I'm just seeing all of this work crumble before my eyes, all of this effort that I'd put into the science of innovation just disappearing in front of me. And I'm gritting my teeth at everything she is saying to me, and I'm tapping my leg just to kind of keep centered as she's throwing volley after volley of criticisms at me. And outside of my office, a car honks at something that was in the road, and it kind of snaps me out of this dazed state. And I look over at her, and I realize that Katie is a revolutionary. Katie is there to speak truth to power. The irony is, she was trying to make me a better researcher, but in the process, she made me a better leader. Can you raise your hand if you've ever had a young person tell you a very uncomfortable truth? Yeah, we've all had that. The hair on the back of your neck kind of stands up and you're like, grit your teeth at them. Since I'm a professor, I thrive in order, creating order from chaos. I thrive in the ivory tower of academia. I thrive in these positions of authority because I've spent my life doing research on these topics. What hurt the most is I knew she was right. I just wanted to dig my heels in and say, no, you are the student, I am the professor, I know this field more than you. Katie makes a fatal mistake that day. In my office, I have a huge wipe-off board, one of those big white wipe-off boards, right? And on that wipe-off board, there's a tray at the bottom. And in that tray, I have 3 markers. I have a black marker, I have a blue marker, and I have a red marker. Now, the black marker I use for writing text. The blue marker is used for diagrams. The red marker is only used when I need to make a correction. Now, Katie makes a fatal mistake by trying to draw a figure using the red marker. And so obviously she had no leg to stand on. It's the equivalent of being in a conversation with somebody in the chat and you misspell a word and they go, you misspelled a word, you obviously don't know what you're talking about. I learned a really, really critical lesson that day. In order for us as leaders to empower the innovators at our companies and at our jobs, we have to shut up. We have to shut up or they will shut down. I want to teach you a little bit of a magic trick, and it's a very simple one. It's the sign language for shut up. So it's open palm, and then chef's kiss to the corner of your mouth. I want you to promise me that you'll go back to your teams, and you'll teach them this gesture, or you'll go back to your boss and maybe teach them this gesture. So what are we going to do when someone like me is taking up all the space in the room? Let's do it one more time together. Yeah? And boom.